Hello and welcome to this new video. Markus here. Last time I showed you the new M1 headphone with my first thoughts about it, and now it's time to summarize my experience with this headphone for the last 3 months. As I told you in my last video, link in the description, my thoughts about my first impression with the M1 headphone. Today I like to talk about my experience with all 3 headphones from the last months and with this one from the last 25 years. Let's start with the 7506. It's a classic headphone. It's more or less a vintage product because it's 30 years old, but still actual, and it works really well. We sell it in a high quantity and it's one of the best phones I have ever used. It can do more or less everything. It's not specialized for something, but if you mobile on your way, if you're doing ENG, if you use your system for outdoor recordings, then the 75 is your choice because you have this folding mechanism you all know, which makes the headphone very small, and it comes together in the box with a pouch, and that's the only headphone of the 3 which has a pouch included. Overall, the 7506 sounds good since 30 years now. It is a mix of these Boost headphones. So it has not real low end like the M1, it has not the shiny high end like the MV1. It doesn't have this picture where your protagonist is in space, so you have this room feeling around you. It's not glory in listening to music, but it's doing everything in a good way. It's not the perfect headphone for mastering your music. It's not the perfect headphone for DJs, but it can do everything in a good way. So if you are on a lower budget, then the 7506 maybe is your choice. Let's look on the M1 and the MV1. I've used both in the last months, this for 6 months now, this for 3 months. And I have to say, for what I'm doing, the MV1 is my choice. I'm based on my desk there, doing some video conferences and training with customers, and I do my video editing day by day. And then the M1 is my preferred headphone. The M1 gives you a more direct sound. It's what I say, always directly into your face. You have the musician or the instruments, the audio signal directly in front of you. The MV1 is a bit better in position. So if you're doing some immersive audio, if you're doing classic recording, if you have some positioning, if you're doing a stereo or a multi-channel setup, then you will find that the M1, from my point of view, gives you a little bit better idea where your protagonist is in space or on stage. The other point is that the M1 is a little bit louder than the MV1, and it's a little bit more present in the low frequency range. So if you're doing more house music or club music or modern pop music, then maybe the M1 is your preferred headphone. The M1 looks a little bit like the 7506, yeah, and it is the same type of housing, but the 7506 has a plastic housing, and here the back side of the housing is metal. So there is a difference. Also, the way how the driver is mounted inside the housing is completely different from the 7506. And by the way, as we talk about the M1 is not the successor of the 7506. A lot of people ask me about this because it looks similar to the 7506, but it is not. The 7506 will be in the market. We will still sell it and produce it. The 7506 is a kind of its own. The M1 is the bigger brother, let's say, but it's definitely not the successor of the 7506. The M1, one unique point is that it's a closed housing. So you're a little bit isolated from your environment around you. The earpads are in the same way soft, but they are normal, let's say, soft foam or plastic. The MV1 are also very light. There is no issue with the weight overall. It fits over your ears, even if you have a little bit bigger ears. That's doing a great job. What both headphones have is a mini jack connector for connecting different type of cables. There is the normal cable in the box in both. There is a 3.6 to 6.3 millimeter adapter from mini jack to a standard jack in the box. But in both headphones, the drivers are connected separately to the connector. So the connector on the headphone side, I think you can see it, is a 4-pin. So you can make your own cable, or you can buy a cable, which is then a symmetrical connection to a special symmetrical headphone amp. And from my point of view, in my test, it sounds a little bit different. So there is the difference in an unsymmetrical connection or a symmetrical connection. And from my point of view, especially with the MV1, the objects in space are a little bit better in the position than with the standard cable. If I'm at home listening music, then the MV1 is my choice. That's the difference. I like to use it. But of course, you can do both with both headphones. One of the unique points of the MV1 are the ear pads. These are Alcantara leather. So it's very smooth, it's very soft. You don't get sweating, you don't get wet around your ears. It fits really well. It's a very light headphone, so you can wear it for hours without any problems. So the ear pads are one unique point. The MV1 is an open back headphone. So you see all these holes here on the back side of the driver housing, and the audio signal will not bounce between the housing and the driver inside the housing. That is one of the major difference here. By the way, this housing is metal. A lot of people think this is plastic, but it's not. If you have the chance to test one of these, or maybe the 7506, then try it out. What is the best for you? I cannot say I would use only these or that. I like both headphones. They have their own way to use it. Again, for me, the M1 is the preferred headphone for my post-production work and for my work here in the studio. But if you're doing mastering, if you're doing classic recording, if you want to listen music wherever you are, then maybe the MV1 is the better choice for you. And that's all what I have for you today. Write me in the comment field which headphones you like the most, which type of work you do with the headphones, which headphone you prefer. And if you have any other ideas what I can show on my channel, then write it down in the comment fields too. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, that will help to grow, and we'll see us next time.